Yo, what's happening, party people? Welcome back to another episode here on Football Manager 2023 as we continue on into our final season with Hearts. We have some big transfers to go through. We're going to run through everything we've done in the pre-season so far, and then also we have a game coming up against Celtic, and then anything beyond that if anything else happens in the transfer window. But we're currently on the 7th of August, so still a fair bit left in the transfer window so far this season. We'll quickly run over the schedule, just go through our pre-season. A lot of goals in our pre-season. We lost a game here to Anorthisi. Yeah, we'll go with that. And Real San Sebastian. We did beat some decent teams, i.e. Roma, Juve, Besiktas beat them 8-3, AEK 7-0. We did play one competitive game, a league game against Aberdeen, where we won by 2 goals to 0. Milicevic getting both of them. Milicevic was scoring our goals. Where's ENDRICK? Let's go and find out where ENDRICK is. So, into our transfers then. Our transfer history, what we need to do is go back to last season, because that is where this main transfer lies. ENDRICK has been sold. Now, we have got £60 million for ENDRICK. It's not as much as I wanted, I'm not going to lie. I wanted more. He's now worth 160 million. 160 to 178 million. We only got 60 million for him. So yeah, that hurts. It really does hurt. But in terms of the deal, it wasn't too bad of a deal. If I can get the deal up, it was £40 million up front, £20 million over the course of a period of time, which I think might have been over 2 years. We also obviously got the loan back as well, which is really nice to have the loan back option. Obviously you can see in his contract he's now on 100 grand a week at Manchester United. I think we might have had 30%. We might have had 30%. Let's go into our transfers and into our clauses. Clauses in. And if ENDRICK, yes, there it is. No, we don't. We don't have 30%. It is just the payment of £6 million. 3 lots of those payments, obviously equaling 20 million. So it's just 60 million. It's just 60 million, but we did get the loan back and we're not paying for his wages this season. So that is the major transfer out. Then we'll run through what has happened this season because there's been a fair bit again. You'd think we'd spend lots of money with the amount that it says that we've brought in here, but Dominic Braun has left us £20 million. His minimum fee release clause was hit, and ultimately I think I found a better defender, so I was happy for him to go for 20 million, which is fine. Next out the door was Tyler Morton. Really, he was just an auxiliary player, someone who just sort of stepped in as and when we needed him. He has left us for £17 million. Still only 24 years old. Probably should have kept him around, but again, happy for him to go for that price. Aaron Hickey. Now, I'm not 100% on this deal. £15 million is the price. However, it can go up to 30, but a lot of those clauses are pretty much ridiculous. I just tried to get clauses in as and where I could with that deal, but Aaron Hickey has left us for 15 million. Plus, he was on a ridiculous wage, and we just needed that wage off the books, really. So Aaron Hickey has left us for £15 million, but again, potential for the price to rise. Benny has also left us £9.25 million. I have got a replacement for him on a free, so pretty happy just to cash in on the £9 million for Benny. Although he's been a decent servant, he's been at the club the whole time. Since we've started this save, he is now gone. The next one out the door was young Rafael Rodriguez. You wouldn't have seen him over the last couple of seasons because he's been loaned out predominantly. But now we have decided to sell up for £3.5 million. That deal has only just been completed. A load of other deals have also gone through. William Carvalho we knew was leaving us on a free. Jim Jensen's gone out on loan, the youngster. Sorstrom also going out on loan. This time he has gone to the Championship instead of playing in the Scottish Prem. Murray Butters also has left us, but again, just a loan deal going to East 5. He's only 16, looks like a decent goalkeeper, so we will need to be finding ourselves a backup goalkeeper. In regards to the ins then, number 1 has to be Nonny. Now, we knew we was getting him. We signed him towards the back end of last season on a pre-contract, and this guy is unreal. Unfortunately, he has been injured for predominantly the most of pre-season. He is, I think, going to be back for this game against Celtic. But look at those stats. Really nice. Look at that acceleration. Really good winger to have in, especially on a free transfer. Louis Ritter was a youngster we brought in, nothing really, not too special, but I was just trying to bring in a couple of players. Obviously, as this is our last season, we want to bring in some players that might have some value in the future to Hearts. Calvin Ramsey also brought in on a free transfer, again pre-contract. We signed him as soon as we was able to do so. We knew he was going to be joining for a while now. Then on to Mohamed Kamara. So this is the gent that we've got in to replace Benny. He's just as good as Benny. Maybe a little bit. Well, he's probably better in mentals and physicals. Maybe not quite good in terms of technicals, but really happy to bring him in. We made £9 million on this deal essentially. So really happy with that. Ronnie Budgie. Brutalized it. Ronnie has came in, and again a decent winger. Got some decent dribbling, decent first touch. He can finish. He's got some good composure, good determination, etc. Good agility. He's pretty quick at 14s as well. So we're pretty happy with that. He's still only 21. Could definitely improve. We paid £10 million. We hit his minimum fee release clause, and he is in the door. We are liking that. The next one in was another youngster, Radak Siblik. We've signed him, I think, about £3 million, but we've loaned him straight back out to get some first team football. But look at this: 16 heading, 15 passing, 13 tackling, some decent vision, teamwork, positioning, determination's good, model citizen as well, which is absolutely huge. For a centre back, he is really nice. Again, obviously we won't get to play him much. He's on loan all season, but again, for the future of this save and beyond, once we leave, it'll be interesting to see how far he goes with Hearts. The next one in the door then, Luke Shaw, potentially rising to £3 million. I am super happy with this. He's only 32. Obviously, very decent with the technicals, some decent mentals as well. Could be better in some areas. His physicals are still okay considering he's 32 years old. Very much happy to bring him in at left back, squad player, so we can rotate him and Josh Doig. Really happy with that. And then, arguably, other than Noni, this is probably the best signing in which we've made. £3.2 million for Mete Korkmaz. Now, this guy, I'm going to have to bring him up even bigger. This guy, I feel, is just incredible. He's 18 years old. He's got the driven personality, 13 heading, 17 passing, 15 tackling. He's got 15 vision, 15 work rate, 16 positioning, 16 jumping reach, 19 determination. I totally missed that. And his physicals are decent. Like, okay, his pace is only 10, his acceleration is 12, but his stamina 14, strength 14. I'm still unsure as to whether I'm going to be playing him as a centre-back or maybe a ball-playing midfielder. I think this season, because I'm a little bit short at centre-back, he will play centre-back. But going forward, once I leave, I'm not really sure how the club is going to be playing him. Maybe they'll play him as a deep-lying... they could play him as a deep line playmaker, but maybe as a ball winning midfielder on support or something, so he's still getting the ball in and shipping it out. But really happy to bring him in, especially for the price of £3.2 million. In terms of the finances, they are looking good. We have £32 million still to spend in the transfer budget. We have a little bit left over in the wages as well. £81 million currently in the overall balance of the club. Now, a lot of that is because they reduced our transfer revenue down to 60%. So a lot of the players in which we've sold, we haven't got their full amount into our transfer budget. But that's fine, because again, I want, for me to complete this save, for it to really be complete. Okay, while I'm here, yes, we've dominated. I expect to dominate again this season. But the real challenge is when I leave, and we simulate 10 years on into the future, will Hearts still be at the top of Scottish football? Will they still be continuing to qualify for the Champions League? Will they still be getting into the Champions League knockout rounds? We've got into the knockout rounds every single year. That we've been in the Champions League, so the last two. So for me, really, to call this save successful, I said I wanted to overtake Rangers and Celtic. Now, we've done it while we're in charge, but for it to really be successful, when we leave, I want them to stay. I want them to stay on top, but at least in the fight with those three. I don't want them dropping back down to where they were. And in order to do that, I am going to look to sign, probably in January as well, I will look to sign a lot of youngsters that I feel like will do Hearts a really good job in this division for a long time to come. So they have a good base. They have some good youngsters The finances obviously are much, much better than what they were previously. A lot of the deals in which I've sold, again, has money coming in over the next couple of years. I've done that on purpose in order to help the club's finances tick along, because if for one season this team misses out on Champions League football, we will be screwed, because the amount we make from winning games in the Champions League, like £5 or £7 million per win, we need that, because we don't have the revenue that Celtic and Rangers have. We have got our stadium being upgraded as we speak. I think it's going to about a 30,000 seat stadium. I think when we started this save it was at about 20. The facilities are in a much better shape, so things are looking good. They're looking up. I want to end this season with an unbeaten season, but in order to do that, we're going to have to get past Celtic first and foremost. And quite frankly, we've got a few injuries. So ENDRICK, obviously now on loan. ENDRICK is injured, so he won't be able to play. João Gomez is injured, so he won't play. Tommy Doyle and Noni both not fit enough to start the game. So in order to play this game, we are playing a few players that might not have generally started in this team. So a little bit weaker than normal. Mete has only just signed, so this is going to be his debut. Not really sure I should be chucking him in, but I'm going to. And we're just going to hope that we can just avoid defeat. I think we are away as well, which makes it a little bit more difficult. But yeah, I'm really happy with how the transfers have gone. Obviously, they're still not over yet. I am on the hunt for a major centre-back. And some of those centre-backs that I have been looking at, mainly Salisu. I did have a look at Clement Longley, Rodrigo de Paul, although he's not a centre-back. Unfortunately, I think he's decided to join Stoke now, which is really unfortunate, because again, his stats are really, really good, even though he's 33 years old. Salisu from Newcastle is the one I'm looking at. There he is, Mohamed Salisu. Starts the game at Southampton. He's now at Newcastle. He's not wanted. He's up for sale. Atletico Madrid are now in for him as well. He is listed, so again, he's affordable, but unfortunately not too interested in the move. So we need to try and work a few things in order to get him in. If we can get him in, that'll be huge. Mete, unfortunately, then will drop onto the bench as a backup, and he'll play in our second string team. But I think if we are going to do anything in Europe, we need a top class centre back, and Salisu would be the one, right? But I think again, it's just his wages. I think it's going to be a little bit hard to really do anything if we're going to get him. I think we need to get at least some help from Newcastle in order to pay his wages. But again, that is something we can look at when we're trying to make the move. So I think for now, what we're going to do is jump into that game against Celtic, because it is literally round the corner. So let's get into that and see what we can do. Okay, chat, so here it is. This is the formation we're going with this season. It is the 4-2-3-1 that we used a little bit towards the back end of last season. We have the wide players now, so let's utilise it. Unfortunately, obviously, Milicevic starting up front instead of ENDRICK. It would have been nice to have ENDRICK available for this game. But let's get into it. We have only got 8 subs available, apparently. I guess Cortez can at least be on the bench. ENDRICK, I'm not going to take the risk, because I'll end up putting him on if we're losing, and he will end up getting injured for even longer. We definitely don't want that. I'm going to give Kormaz the number 6, because I do think he will play a fair bit, definitely in the second string, whether that be at centre-back or whether that be in the DPL. I think Kamara will probably play in the DPL, so it probably will be centre-back that he plays. Let's point the finger. Let's pick up from where we left off against Aberdeen, and hopefully let's get 3 points in this first game of the season, or our first game on camera of the season. Obviously, we beat Aberdeen 2-0 in the opening match. Would be really, really nice to get a lead over Celtic so early in the season. Obviously, both of us have won our opening game. So have Rangers. Hibs also looking pretty good. But this, for us, away from home, is a key game. I mean, if we can just avoid defeat, I'm feeling confident. Like I said, I want to try and go unbeaten. We lost just one game domestically last season, and that was to Hibs in the league. Other than that, we won every other domestic game, winning the treble, obviously winning both trophies, because we only lost one game in the league, and already we're a goal down. Armar Dedic has scored the goal. Celtic lead after just 28 seconds inside. I'm a little bit pissed. I am a little bit pissed, I'm not gonna lie. Let's forget about that and let's get on with it. I mean, ultimately my goal this season is to try and really have a go in Europe. I was in two minds as to whether we continue beyond this season and keep trying and trying and trying until we win something in Europe. But ultimately, I know I could drop into the Europa League now and then go and win the Europa League. Our team's good enough to do that. However, in order to do that, because I've done so well in the Champions League, we now get the top two get straight into the league phase of the Champions League. So there's no playoffs. So I'd have to come third to get into the Europa League. I don't want to come third. I don't want to come third in the division. I'm not about that life. I'm all about winning it for the fourth year in a row, potentially. However, we're still a goal down. A couple of highlights went our way there. Rangers are also a goal up now as well. And Celtic have a corner. It's more tame with the ball in. It's a decent header. Rizzo makes a stop. We do need to sign a backup goalkeeper. I'll probably go and look for an old one whose contract has run out. And Skeldrip now on this left-hand side. What can he do? He's still going. He's going to need some support. He's got Milicevic in the middle. But that's a poor touch. And just giving the ball away. But they've given it to Shaw. Shaw whips it in towards Milicevic. It's headed away again. Calvin Ramsey's quite far forward. Goes for goal. And it's sailed over the bar. Again, this is where I'd be tempted, not currently right now, but I'd be tempted to bring ENDRICK in at this point, you know. And we don't want to be forced into bringing ENDRICK in too early. Shaw with the corner, left-footed, swings it in towards the front post, and it was Mete Kormaz that was there. Magala's still there. Oh, Ronnie. Oh, wow. Wow, chat. Could have had a chance. No, do not do it. It's Pepe. I don't even like the dude. Please do not. Love that. Love that. Alright, Pozzo's on a yellow card. Luke Shaw's on a yellow card. We do have Josh Doig on the bench as well. So we could bring Shaw off. We could bring Pozzo off at some point, maybe about 60 minutes. Ideally, we'd like to get a leveler before we make any changes. Mete Kormaz finds Pozzo again. Now Pedersen playing in the cam, but he's giving it away. And there's a chance here for Kygo. And it's a good save. No, in a pre-season or in the off-season, Pedersen made his debut for Denmark in a 3-2 win over Holland, in which he scored all 3 goals. So maybe I should be playing him up front. Maybe I shouldn't have asked for a loan back for ENDRICK, and Pedersen should have been our star striker. But I mean, I really wanted that loan back, and I think it was the only reason why I accepted 60 million. I wish I didn't. I'm a little bit upset by it. But we signed him on a free. So that's 60 million just straight in our pockets. And I still get the benefit of using him for the rest of my time being at the club. So that was the main thinking. Sure, that's a decent ball in. And again, Kormaz was there. I realise my camera's looking a little bit grayscale at the moment. Could maybe do a little bit with that. Ramsey, what you got? Finds Magala. Kormaz, do not lose it. That's a great... Oh, it was looking like a great pass. He does have 17 passing, remember? Oh, that's a good ball. Oh, Magala, you've got to get back, lad. Ooh, glad they can't finish. Still that goal in the first minute from Dedic. The difference at the moment. We're trying to get back into it. Milicevic not having a great game. João Resende is on the bench. And I think we're going to be bringing him on soon as Pepe's gone through. Shaw does well to get back. And he's now cleared it long. Found Pedersen, but Pedersen's touch was pretty woeful. And Jota's in. Jota scores. And I think he's onside. It's going to go to VAR, but I actually think he is onside. I expect this goal to count. Goal disallowed. All right. Yes. We will take that, chat. Let's have a look at this offside. Oh, it is very tight, but he is just off. He is just offside. Okay. Let's have a look at some subs then. I mean, Pedersen's not having the best of games, is he? Pozzo also not having a great game. So I'm going to take Pozzo off. I'm going to bring on... shit. I'm going to bring on Tommy Doyle. I think Pedersen then comes off for Marshall Colbert, potentially. Or I move Pedersen out to the right-hand side. No. Marshall Colbert comes on for Pedersen. Milicevic off for João Resende. We do have Maduki, who could come on. He could come on for the remaining sort of like 20 minutes. He shouldn't be playing much more than 20 minutes. And what has happened to my camera? Bear with me, chat. Okay, So the camera sort of fixed. We'll have to look at it after the game. We just got a quick fix in there. So the substitutes have been made. What can they do though? Hopefully they can make a difference. I don't want to make another sub yet. I want to go for a shout. Let's go for a fire up. See whether we can do something. But not a lot really happening. Might have to take Ronnie off. I think I'm going to. Noni comes on. And I think Josh Doig. Although Luke Shaw is playing a 7.1. Let's bring on Borset for Kormaz. Kormaz has had a decent game. But he's getting a little bit tired. He's on a yellow. Don't want him getting sent off on his debut. That would be pretty disastrous. More time with the ball in. It's headed away. Marshall Colbert will get there. Is there a counter-attack here for Hearts? Colbert plays it to Skeldrup. He's just round into the player almost. And then Skeldrup has had enough. And he's going for an early shower. That's a red card for sure. Yeah. He didn't like losing the ball. And now he has cost us. Okay, let's revert to this. I'm going to go for this. I'm just going to do it. We're just going to do it. I think I'm going to go double advanced. We might need to go a little bit more direct because of it. And I will go attacking because we're a goal down. Why not? So frustrating when something like that happens. What are we supposed to do? Skeldrup may be costing us. I mean, it hasn't cost us anything at the moment. We was a goal down anyway. But there was potential that we could get back into the game. And I don't see that anymore. Although that's a decent header away. But Kamara can't get there. And John McGinn is in. And it's a decent stop from Rizzo. Unfortunately, no highlight from it. Would have been nice if we could maybe get a little bit of a counter attack on. But unfortunately, it looks like it's going to be the game. So it was starting to really starting to tire as well. Oh, Resende. Oh, okay. Nice. Rizzo. That can't be the highlight. Come on. Here we go. Luke Shaw, what we got? Big punt forward, looking for Jao Resende, but he's not really chasing it. It's a poor header away from Cameron Carter Vickers, and then he's spreaded the ball wide to Norris and Davies, who's coming up this left-hand side and doing pretty well. He's travelled quite far up the field. John McGinn now playing into Jota, back to Mortan, into Nicola Pepe, and it's another really good stop from Rizzo. But I think, I mean, look at that. When we went forward, I know we said go a little bit more direct now, but if you're going to knock it over, at least knock it over the top for Noni to run onto. So we're even using the time wasted now to really hurt us. Rizzo does well. Looks like our idea of an unbeaten season is down the pan. Second game of the season. Or is it? Borset. Oh, it just plays it over the top of Noni. Oh no. Come on. Is there one more chance? Nah. I don't see it. It's unfortunate. We lose by a goal to nil. It's not ideal. A little bit annoyed. I expect to see you all in training. It is what it is, chat. Like I say, my main priority this season is to do something in Europe. And we will be resting our team in the league. Yes, okay, I still want to win the league. But ultimately, Europe has to be our number one priority this season. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I believe, the rest of the transfer window off camera. I think there might be a couple of games that do get played. I mean, Premier Sports Cup against Falkirk, weak team, Ross County and St Johnson. That's fine. That's all good. You don't need to see any of those. But yeah, we'll come back and give you what happens on deadline day. Hopefully, we've signed a couple more players. So we are back. We're coming into the last couple of hours of the transfer deadline day. There isn't too much really going on. We have signed another couple of players. There was another player I was looking at, but unfortunately we've just run out of money. Really struggling to sell players as well without annoying them, and I really don't want to destroy the balance of our team at the moment because our team is feeling pretty nice. So let's get on and show you, as we've just finished transfer deadline day. That is done. I need to go and show you boys what we have done since I last showed you. There's been a number of players that have joined. I don't think anyone has left. I don't think any other players have left the squad. I'm trying to rattle my brain while this is processing, but I can't think of anyone. I mean, if they have, obviously they weren't that important to the squad. But we have brought in, like I said, a number of players. So let's just get across and show you what we have done. So let's go over to the transfers. Transfer. Oh, this is coming, but that's being rejected. What? He's a wonder kid. I'm just outright rejecting that. Not even entertaining it. So let's get across into our transfer history then. So in terms of outs, I don't think, like I said, I don't think anyone else left. No, they were all, yeah, you saw all of them. In terms of the ins though, we have made a couple of extra signings. So we spent £18.5 million on Christoph Borsin. Now this youngster, this is one really for the future, for when we leave, but he's going to give us a little bit of backup. It isn't £18 million all up front. I think it was about 9 and 9. But again, from Juve, looks okay. He's actually wanted already by Fulham on loan. Like I say, he's going to play a key figure in our second string team, playing a lot of like the domestic cup games, etc. Pretty happy to bring him in, nice and quick. Has some good agility as well, but other areas do need improvement. Little bit on the expensive side. Then we have Sivir Mansbeck from Tottenham. Now, we've been tracking this guy for a while, and then he was transfer listed for an insanely cheap price of £7.5 million. More than happy to bring him in. Again, he's just going to add some depth into our midfield areas. He's probably going to end up getting a lot of game time just to sort of replace João Gomez. Our main two are going to be João Gomez and Pozzo, and then Mansbeck is going to be the backup to them. Also, huge signing in terms of Lorenzo Luca has signed for all of £5 million. As soon as I saw he was available for £5 million, although I didn't need a striker, I had to do it. I just had to do it. Thinking obviously ENDRICK's going to be going back to, or is going to be going to United at the end of the season. So I thought, let's think about long term. They're going to have Lorenzo Luca, Milicevic, 2 aerial threats. Maybe without me, they'll go sort of like Route 1 football and just play up to these guys. But they're going to have a really, really strong squad. This is by far the strongest squad in which I've had in this save so far. We have also brought back a 35-year-old Zander Clark back at the club. He was with us the first season, then we sold him for £1 million, which was huge at the time. Had to take that sort of money. So yeah, we brought him back on a free. He never even played. He played 1 game for Leeds. He's going to come back and just be our backup goalkeeper because we did need another goalkeeper. I wanted it to be a Scottish goalkeeper just to help us with the registration rules in terms of the Champions League. Pedersen has got Player of the Month, which is always nice. ENDRICK getting Young Player of the Month. I'm surprised that Mete didn't get it. Also, it's just full of Hearts players. What I do want to have a look at, the Media Dream 11. I mean, is it all us? Or only 4 Celtic players. Other than that, it's all Hearts players. I love to see that, chat. We absolutely love to see that. Obviously, favourites to win the league. Okay, let's get into just doing our Champions League squad, and then we'll probably end the episode there with just the 1 game, unfortunately, today. But obviously, had to cover a lot of the transfers. That guy will not go to Oxford because his work permit will inevitably be turned down. Pozzo again loaded. What are you doing? You've just signed Blanco. You're not having my young wonder kid. Look at Pozzo is incredible. He really, really is incredible. But I ain't letting him go. Not for 14 million. Like these are ludicrous. Absolutely insane. We might need to get a minimum fee release clause on this guy, because I reckon if I wasn't here, Hearts would accept this deal. Look at the teams he's wanted by. I just realised West Brom were one of them. Okay, I think I just outright deny both of them. He's going to get pissed off that I'm rejecting Bayern Munich and Real Madrid, of course. Okay, the finances weren't right in the deal. That is true, but I don't want to start with that. I really want you to stay at the club. I want to win the UEFA Champions League, but that's not something I can realistically achieve here, so I need to move. That's maybe true. I mean, what can we say? Where's the money one? I can offer you more money. Yeah, let's try that. That would do it. Oy, little money grabber, you little money grabber, you. All right, cool. I don't mind. I'll pay him. I'll pay the man his money. He deserves it. Let's discuss it with his agent first. 21k. Okay. I was expecting it to be like 60. Important player. Let's go star player. Let's lock that in. We don't want the training facilities thing. Okay, suggest that. Finalize. Negotiate. Minimum fee release clause. Guess what? Locking this in. £120 million is what we're going to get done for him. And the wages, we'll give him a little bit more in terms of wages. £1 million signing on. We'll give your agent 250 because we're trying to get him to accept this minimum fee release clause. Again, I'll give you 35. That is gonna get it done. A 5-year deal. It's got a £120 million minimum fee release clause. See you later. If Bayern or Real Madrid want him now, they can pay through those. 120 million, I'll snap them off. But then again, we did have a £120 million minimum fee release clause on ENDRICK, and that didn't really serve us too well. So, but it did in a way, because ultimately we would have lost him for a lot cheaper if we obviously had a smaller one on there. So, look, what are you doing? Get out of here. He's actually got a £29 million minimum fee release clause at the moment. So if they make a bid of 30 million right now, they would actually get to talk to him, and they'd probably offer him a much better deal than what we're offering. We've been trying to offload this guy for a while. He is only 20 years old, but he just hasn't progressed well enough, in my opinion. We signed him for what, 600k. We're going to sell him for potentially a little bit more. I'll just say give me 50% of that and you can have him. They'll say yes. If he then does go on to be sold for some decent money, at least Hearts will get that. Again, obviously it won't be me that gets it, but when we do the simulation and go 10 years into the future, Hearts will get it. And obviously we're trying to build a team that when we leave, we'll still be able to compete on all fronts. We're going to accept all of these because we just want him gone on loan. Milan make loan approach for Pozzo. Now that's interesting. Have I got him transfer listed or something? Because this guy is wanted by everyone. Not set, unavailable for loan. What is going on? Confirm. Like, he isn't going anywhere. We need him to accept that new contract. Sharpish. Or just for the 1st of September to end. Like, I guess the transfer window is still open in other countries. Just get off the 1st of September so I know I'm keeping Pozzo. Because if they come in last minute with a £30 million bid, there's nothing we can do. And quite frankly, he still hasn't accepted that deal. I mean, it might take him a few days to accept it, which is leaving us in the lurch a bit. If we lost Pozzo now, we'd be in a little bit of shit. I generally believe our team is good enough to have a decent shot at taking out some big clubs. I wouldn't say we've got a chance of winning it, but we've got a really decent shot at doing something. So here we go then. Let's get our team sorted for the Champions League. Xander Clark, Rizzo, Nilsson, who is obviously homegrown, which is nice. Magala now homegrown, really, really nice there. João Gomez, Mete Korkmaz, Luke Shaw, Josh Doig is homegrown, Calvin Ramsey's homegrown. We'll get Borussia in, Tommy Doyle, Mansvak, Pozzo, Rooney, Marshall Colbert, Noni, Skeldrup, ENDRICK, Pedersen, Luca, Jarosende, Milosevic, who is also now homegrown. We need 4 players that are homegrown, so that's fine, because then we can get Ronnie in. Kamara can come in. I don't need Cortez. I could have one more player in. It's Luke. I guess we'll go for Herkulainen over Alvaro Cortez. No, I guess we'll go Cortez. That's fine. That's got everyone in. We can't put Luca in, unfortunately, because we do need to leave one space because we haven't hit the 8 minimum players trained, and obviously then the 4 before that. So we are going to have one lad miss out, unfortunately. But the majority of the squad are in there, so I'm pretty happy with that. Again, another reason why signs aren't the Clark, because he was Scottish. Another reason why I didn't sell Milicevic, again, because he become homegrown, etc. So we've got to keep hold of those sort of players. Hoping Pozzo will also get the same treatment as well. But guys, if you have enjoyed the video, be sure to smash that thumbs up. Did we get enough for ENDRICK? Let us know in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.